Thank you guys so much for joining. And this was a powerful registration we had with so many of you guys coming online and asking us questions, really on keynote speaking, right? What I can attest to and what I can speak of on the side of managing several high level CEO clients who are up on stages, doing what they love, speaking and getting their light out to the world. A little bit about me. I started off as a creator, just to give you guys a little bit of context. Now, there was one day, this is me talking about how good you have to get at content, but there was one day that I just thought, what about if I just documented my life? What about if I literally just started to document what I was doing? I'm not going to tell my children what I did, but I'm going to show them, right? How many of you guys here, like I was speaking to one of our CEO clients the other day, and he said, Sujira, I've been doing what I've been doing for 11 years. 11 years I've been going and speaking and presenting in workshops and doing what I love and being passionate about it, but I never documented any of it. Like I didn't have anything to show for it. And I've been a CEO of this company, founder, and since I met you, you put it into the perspective of how can I just document my life? Now, I get it, it's annoying to be on social media. I get it's a distraction, and I get that, it's not something that you really would like to spend a lot of time on. But I'll give you a little bit of a story. The other day, we called someone, a prospect of ours, and he went to a similar school that I went to, and we had a podcast interview with the principal of that school. Now he said, "Oh, I'm going to go and listen to your podcast." So within the deal flow, with me just talking to him in getting that business, as I'm still here running my business, he's listening to my podcast. So do you think when we have a meeting, which we booked in a meeting with him, think about how much easier it is to close? He's going to come into that meeting having listened to an hour of me talk and have an amazing conversation with someone. So that's the power of getting quite a lot of content in the marketplace, because the content allows you to be seen, which allows you to be more visible. And a lot of you are just not visible enough. You're just not visible enough. And it's not because you don't want to be. Of course, if you could just have more eyeballs, not so much on you and getting caught up in vanity metrics of, well, look at me, me, me. No, you're saying, look at this. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm speaking about. This is what's important. And this is what's changing lives, which is the most important thing. Why wouldn't you get that out to more people? And I was having a meeting today, and I was telling someone, like, we live in a day and age where you're dealing with a lot of incompetent people. A lot of people, are not getting the job done. You're getting overpromised, and this is in quite a lot of areas. Let's say in the marketing field, a lot of people are just getting pitched to them, but no skin in the game, no real value to give to the end consumer. And that's going to separate a lot of people in the marketplace. And so what I see is more like, okay, how can we be there for people to be a growth partner? So what I mean is, this is a framework that I've shown you guys here for the speakers who want to be getting speaking engagements, want to getting booked out more. There's two sides of the game. There's the marketing side, and then there's the sales side. These are two different things, but they complement each other. So the way they complement each other was a perfect example of the way I gave you, right? We're doing sales. So sales is calling people, speaking to people directly to get business from them, to help them, to add value to them. So I call this person, or I message this person on LinkedIn for a sale to see if we can partner with them. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know who you are. You've just called me. You've just messaged me. I'm not too sure much about you. Okay, now we have a podcast with a principal that we obviously share in common because we went to the same school. So he can now go in and watch content of me, go and watch and listen to this interview of me and the principal. Now that's marketing. That piece of content I did probably about 6, 8 months ago, that didn't bring me any sales. People seen the content, but it didn't bring me any ROI immediately, right? So the marketing doesn't bring you a return on investment straight away. Like you can see here, this is what we do for the marketing. We get the content, we document the content. So now the way sales and marketing work is, I call him for the sale, but then now the marketing is when he gets off the phone or when he gets off that message, Or even when we as a company can send him and say, hey, have a look at this interview that we did with this so and so person, this huge principal. Now, he knows that person. He knows that that's a big person within the industry. That's a huge principal. So the trust factor scales much higher because I've gone from someone who he doesn't know at all to, okay, wait a minute, I can go in and watch a podcast of someone else I know. And then now he's going in and listening to the podcast and watching. And then now the trust raises high because he's watching this whole masterpiece and he's like, wow, this was really engaging. And then we have advertisements in that content. And then he's thinking, I want to be like that principal. I want to have someone like this shark, this fine young man who's well spoken, interview me. I want to be part of the company where I can have my media assets growing just like this podcast. And then that's how sales and marketing work together. So when you have a strong marketing concept, which is this pyramid that I'm showing you, which is documenting the content, repurposing it into micro content. So you just need to be more visible, which is where a lot of you guys are struggling, is just being more visible, right? So if we can now document what you're doing like this, we put it up on YouTube, a reality show. You want to think of your social media kind of like a reality show. We do that with some clients where it's like, okay, you may not need a podcast, but let's just document what you guys are doing as, you know, a business, as a family business. And then now we can now get content out of that into small pieces of content. So now other people can find you. So the number one area you lack in right now is visibility. And that's just on a marketing perspective, showing a little bit of people who you are. Now on the sales side, you can be a little bit more visible too. So imagine you have content that's working for you, but then you also have sales. So you have LinkedIn lead generation, going in and getting people to book you as a keynote speaker. We're using AI, and we live in a time which is a very scary time for some people because a lot of people don't personalize their content. They're very just kind of do what everyone else does, which is crazy to me, and they just copy and paste from ChatGPT. So if you don't personalize your content, of course, you're just going to be fit in the crowd as everyone else. But on the lead generation side, there's huge opportunity because now we're seeing things like Instantly AI. We have AI agents that now can go in and find our ideal customer profile, whether that's an event manager for some of you guys who are speakers in this and who are speaking, who want to get more speaking gigs. Now you have that ability with a powerful system behind you, a growth partner behind you, to get more speaking engagements, because it's just a numbers game. If we contact 100 people every day, 100 emails, powerful, personal, you know, you're looking for a powerful speaker to come in and influence, you know, something that doesn't look AI generated, but that's personal, that has a follow-up sequence. And then we're just hitting as many conferences, as many people as we can. Numbers game. You hit 1,000 people a month, 1,000 people. Okay, out of 10% of that, you get 100 people. Out of that 100 people, you can get 20 calls, or 20 meetings booked in. Out of those 20 meetings booked in, you convert 10, or let's say even lower, you can convert 3 on high ticket services. Then it's a money play. That's a big. Now 3 conversions for you in a month is huge, right? Compared to what you're already doing. So that's really the model of sales and marketing, and how you can use both of these tools together in a way that's powerful. So on the marketing side, which is where we come in terms of the podcast and the content and the creativity, okay, how could we appeal to your customers' pain points? How can we show your customer more? And how can we build the personal brand so well of the company that, because people trust people. You can see someone like Gary Vee. Why has he done so well? VaynerMedia is the company, like ETS Rabasha Media, but people come in to watch Gary Vee. They want to watch his vlogs. They want to watch his advice. So this system here is what allows you to do exactly that. It allows you to get that piece of content. So you can see here is a keynote engagement, right? He's doing a keynote. That's up to 2 hours. Now, do you know how many CEOs out there who are speakers at the same time are not recording their events, or they're waiting, they're getting booked at an event and they're waiting for the company of that event who recorded it to give them the content? Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm a shark. I'm very sharp. So everywhere we go, we bring our own cameras because we don't have time to wait for people. People take time. Again, I talked about it at the start of this. A lot of people are incompetent. So for us and our speakers and the CEOs that we work with, every recording and keynote that they have, we are there because we need to capture that content, because as soon as that keynote speak finishes, we're already in production to get that out as quick as possible. Once we get it out as quick as possible, we also have the short form content to now splurge all over social media. So this is a clear example. I did this as well. Had a keynote engagement straight away from there, put it up on YouTube. From YouTube, we got all the short form clips and we edit them and we make them in a way, because now more than ever, there's so much content that's going out. There's quite a lot of content. So how do you separate your content from the rest? Well, by being unique, by hooking them in on the first 3 seconds, by really having that piece of legacy. How do you want yourself to be remembered when it's all said and done? What I'm giving you, this blueprint on the marketing side of things, just showing more who you are, marketing alone, which I talk about again, helps sales. We also look at marketing as not just marketing, but as legacy. This content, this distribution, this putting it as your pillar content out there, your keynote engagement that went for an hour, your keynote engagement that went for 20 minutes, that keynote engagement that you have out that, let's say, we put on the YouTube channel, that's a piece of legacy. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want to make people feel? So we see marketing also as not just marketing, as a function in our business that we have to do or that we do for our clients. We see it as legacy. How do you want to be remembered by? And that legacy, which is great because it's also marketing, that legacy piece of content of me teaching and speaking, well, that's going to bring money through the door in many forms of ways. It's going to bring money through the door because it's adding value to people. Again, I talked about it on the sales side. When we do sales, when I cold call people, when we message people, when we go in and see who we can add value to, all they got to do is go and Google us, because that's what's going to come up. If we email you, my email signature is there. Then you can go in and Google me. And when you Google me, there's just so much content. The trust factor scales, just like I gave you that example before. So that's why when we are growth partners and we come into a business and we look at all their functions and see, okay, well, what's happening with the sales, what's happening with marketing, the reason why we come in as a creative agency to consult or to do it for you, because a lot of CEOs need a place to get it done for them. That marketing content helps us with the sales. It helps us book more meetings. It helps more people show up to the meetings, because when they've booked that meeting, now we put them in a system, we nurture them, we send them content. They can see the content. So it's so much more likely for them to show up and close, because they've watched your content, they've watched you, they know who you are, they've seen the brand, they may have seen a piece of content that really attracted them to you. Some may be repelled to you and they won't show up to the meeting, but that's okay, because you filter out who's for you. Because now it's all about being in a tribe. And so what we're seeing with the people that we're working with is it's a very lonely journey for them. They need someone to come in and do this. I've just shown you this blueprint. I've shown you what social media is like. This is how it's like. It's social graph and interest graph. Whatever you're interested in will come up on your feed. So it's you as a CEO to be more visible than ever. And to be visible is by talking about what you love, what you're passionate about, what your mission and vision is, and you just need to let that go on autopilot. You need a system and a team around you that has amazing thumbnails, that captures attention, that gets you in front of more eyeballs. And then once you're able to do that, then we're looking at, okay, what's happening with the sales? Some of you already have a sales team, so you don't need it, right? You just need to have more content out there. Boom. Maybe if you're a little bit like, okay, I've built up a huge company, maybe I'm building up my mentorship, maybe I'm building up another business and another company on the side. I need more revenue. Maybe I need more revenue for my company. Okay, cool. How can we use the marketing that we've done here to bring in more revenue? Do we need AI agents to come into your business and install that system and software in there? So now you are just outreaching, and then your personal brand as a CEO is linked to that. So then now when people are Googling who you are, there's too much content. You want to be flooding the streets with as much content as possible. And it's no longer like I'm too busy. No, you partner up with A players, you partner up with people who have skin in the game, who are investing into your business as well. Because like I said, the game's changed. It's no longer good enough for people in our position to just get monthly retainers and be comfortable and do. No, we need to be those A players where we're coming up with new ideas to improve. You're hiring people not to tell them what to do, but for them to tell you what to do. We come in, this is what we're going to do. This is the content we're going to take. This is what you're good at. Okay, how can we position you in the best foot forward? That is what it is. So for you as a CEO, you should worry about nothing but just having your name out there. And for example, why I'm passionate about that is this is a great example of a powerful CEO doing exactly that. And if you would like to book him as a speaker, which we are representing in a powerful way, you can. Please feel free to send me a message. These are for the people who are not CEOs in this call, but who are event managers, conference producers, who are looking for people to show up at the event. But like, this is an example of what I'm talking about. He doesn't have time to be on social media. He is running a multi-million-dollar company with merger and acquisitions at the moment. But guess what? Every single day, what do you see? You see him speaking on stage. This is what you can see right here, right now. And again, we really try, of course, there's not a huge edit in this, but we really try not to be like everyone else and just have those Opus clips and they all look the kind of same, which you'll see if you go through a lot of the content. But this is his LinkedIn. This is how we get inbound leads coming through. This is how we expand out to more people. This is why you can book him right now as a speaker. Why? Because every content is documented. That content is documented, then that gets put up on his YouTube channel, which you can go and watch right now. And this is what I want you to show you what it looks like. Again, we always talk about proofing in the pudding. So if you go here and then you can just see it you can see exactly that. So the long form content is here. This is where the long form content lives. For people Googling, people are Googling his name. This is what comes up. If you're doing sales and I say, this is who I am, I can go and send you my content. I can go and send you my YouTube videos. That's what we do in our sales process. We have a meeting with people. Hey, we'll send them one of our videos so that they're just tuned into our funnel. Boom. That's the long form content. But then now that's repurposed into short form content. So we were really strategic this week. We said, let's put as much content of him speaking on stages, so psychologically it gets into people's mind that this is an authority figure. So you just need visibility. You need a team and an A team to do something like this, to be posting, editing on, just going. That is what you need. He is not on social media, but this is 2 times a day, every single day, because we understand that he understands the mission. Again, sales and marketing, 2 different things. This is just the marketing side. It doesn't bring in any money. It doesn't bring in any revenue in the short term. It's more of a long-term game where you get so good at it and it's so huge that inbound comes to you. And that's the game that comes. But you can now leverage these assets. People trust you more because they can see it. They can see who you are, what you're talking about. You can send this to prospects. You can send it to them who you're trying to get. You can use it as a way to bring on people on your show. I'd love to have you on my podcast. Would love to speak to you. That brings you and puts you in the room with them. And then that allows for more deal flow. So the marketing is top of funnel. Sales is sales. Going hand to hand combat. Picking up the phone, writing them emails. And now with AI, we can clone ourselves, duplicate ourselves. So we just hit our numbers, because it's a numbers game. So if you want to be speaking on stages, this is a very great way for you to see exactly how it's done over a long period of time. But we just wanted to talk strictly on the marketing and the lead generation side. The other things of speaking bureaus and all these other things, those are different. And sometimes I may not be the best person to speak on that. I'm a speaker myself. But I just wanted to talk about what we are also good at and what we know works extremely well. Again, when it comes to marketing and when it comes to going to people hand in hand, the sky's the limit. So it's about, okay, what's most important for you? And then how can you use A players to do that? Because it's a lonely journey. So surround yourself with the best and people who have skin in the game. So I really thank you guys for joining into my live today. I really, really appreciate it. We have a global audience on YouTube we're really appreciative of, and we will see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in, and bye.